I'd like to explain to you a little bit about the Fed. The people behind the Fed started with 3 murders at the Titanic, killed Kennedy, and want to end with mass murder. Sounds crazy, but it's the truth. When people think about the Fed, they think it's a central bank, mainly sets rates, controls the amount of new money created. That's the truth, but it's not the whole truth. The whole truth is, the final goal of the Fed is to destroy America and the white race. That's 100% the truth. And before you turn away and think that's crazy, think of the incredible debt the Fed created that's capable of bringing the economy practically to a standstill, exactly what they want. Think of Lincoln, who didn't want a central bank, was killed for it. Think of Kennedy, who wanted to introduce silver dollars, again killed. Think of President Andrew Jackson, who ran for president in 1832 with the slogan, Jackson and no bank, no central bank, no Fed. Realized that America did not have a central bank for a long time. People didn't want it because the power would be too big. Were those people right? I will explain why the Fed is really an evil Fed and wants to destroy the white race and destroy America. You have to put the Fed in a bigger picture. It's only part, but a very important part of a bigger organization, bigger goal. Don't focus on the Fed, focus on what's hidden from you, but it's a very clear, structured organization. So it's an organization run by the evil Jews. Instead of regular Jews who have nothing to do with this, it's not anti-Semitic. And the false Jews, the Khazarians, that now call themselves the Ashkenazis. Maybe you heard of them. They're best organized in the Hasidic rabbis. And maybe you think it's impossible, like, oh, don't say anything bad about the Jews. But look at the names of the Fed chairman, Volcker, Greenspan, Bernanke. They were all Zionist Jews, not regular Jews, not anti-Semitic. Look at the names of the owners of ABC, CBS, NBC, all Zionist Jews. Coincidence? Look at Congress giving away billions every year to Israel. Look at the names of all the Hollywood producers, Feinstein, Zweigstein, Goldstein, etc. So the Chinese Jews own the media, own the most important bank, the Fed, for a great part own Congress to dual citizenship. Who have thought of that? And APEC. This seems very structured. Is this maybe some sort of blueprint or so? Yes, it is. It's all the result of the protocols of Zion. And Zion is heaven on earth for the Jews when they take over the world. They roughly brainwash the people, finance our plans with the only real money, gold, own the banks like the Fed, own the media, all the TV stations, on Hollywood, use anti-Semitism as instrument. So if you say something bad about the Jews, they start immediately screaming, anti-Semitism, anti-Semitism, even if it is the truth, endorse democracy, and then bribe the politicians, APEC, and change the Bible, spiritualism for materialism, distract the people with sports and entertainment. Did that work? It's entertainment everywhere now. Stop the resistance that will certainly come with terror. They invented the terror. This was all written, perfected around 1896. Make the debt so high that even the interest is impossible to pay. This is the truth. This has happened. Make people think everybody's equal to prepare them for revolution, crash the economy, instigate revolution, create a new government where we are the majority. And they did this in Russia in 1917. Maybe you heard of the Russian Revolution. The Fed is a Zionist, false, evil Jews, Rothschild bank with only one goal, to kill the white race and take over America. And it says here, evil Jews, that are real Jews. Some real Jews are evil, yes. And false Jews. Who are the false Jews? The descendants of the Egyptian priests from the pharaohs, because Israel is very close to Egypt. It's not very strange. That's why you see the pyramids and the all-seeing eye everywhere in the media. And the descendants from the Khazarians, who call themselves the Ashkenazis now, united in the Hasidic movement. The honest Jew, this is not anti-Semitic, Benjamin Friedman explained this in his famous 1961 hotel speech. They were psychopath warriors from the region of southern Russia that adapted Judaism and Satanism. Ever wondered where all these tall, blue-eyed Jews came from? That's not logic. A real Jew comes from the Middle East, and they should have brown eyes, dark hair, and not so tall. And here he gives a little bit more explanation about these Khazarians. And in the early 1960s, Esther Costa studied the number of real Jews descended from the Jewish tribes in the Middle East compared to the false Jews, the Khazarians, that now call themselves Ashkenazis. In his book, The 13th Tribe, page 181, he estimates that there were about 500,000 real Jews left, while the Ashkenazim totaled over 12 million. Thus, the word Jew is practically synonymous with Ashkenazim. It's very serious, very disturbing, of course. And here we have the priests of the time of the pharaohs. They used the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, and the obelisk. They put it everywhere. Washington, Paris, London, Berlin, it's everywhere, this thing. The Khazarians with the devil star, and they are the false Jews together. And now the false Jews, maybe are 80%, 90%, and a little bit of the real Jews left. Very scary, of course. And Rothschild was one of them. And he said, I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire on which the sun never sets. The man who controls British money supply controls the British empire, and I control the British money supply. So whoever controls the money in America through the Fed, they control the country. And he was a Zionist, and people want to create a Zion on earth, and that is the Pax Judaica, the 10,000 years of peace and plenty for the Jews, where they rule the world of dark people from a greater Israel with capital Jerusalem in the spirit of Satan, and that's what they want. And here you have the map of the Middle East, and here you have Israel, and here are all the dictators that have fallen around Israel. I remember a Protocol of Zion, endorse democracy and then bribe the politicians. So get rid of the dictators, because somebody who has everything, you cannot bribe them. And this is the Pax Judaica, the 10,000 years of peace and plenty, prepared with a greater Israel. They want to create this big Israel, the capital of Jerusalem, and rule the world. It's really the truth, unfortunately. Rabbi Rabinovich in 1952, he said, the white women, they must go with members of the dark races, and the white men with black women. Thus the white race will disappear. They think logic. They think logical like this. Evil but logic. For the mixing of the dark with the white means the end of the white man. And the most dangerous enemy will become only memory. We shall embark upon an era of 10,000 years of peace and plenty, Pax Judaica, and a race will rule undisputed over the world. Our superior intelligence will easily enable us to retain mastery over the world of dark peoples. That's what they want. And what did we get? We got this mass immigration in US, Australia, and Europe. Coincidence? Again, all coincidence. It's no coincidence. This is Detroit now. You think it's normal? It's not normal. It could have been Chicago, LA, Amsterdam, London, Brussels, Paris. And this is Detroit in 1953. This was normal. Not this. This is not normal. This is the browning of America. It's real. They want it. And here we have the highest power in the Jewish Cabal organization, Hasidic rabbis, with Reagan. They controlled him. Remember the Matrix? What do you want to be, Mr. Reagan? I want to be something important, like an actor. And he became an actor and later president. They were behind him. They controlled him. Clinton, they controlled him. Bush Jr., Bush Sr., Obama, Rand Paul, son of Ron Paul. They control Rand Paul. Obama at the Wailing Wall. Through AIPAC, they control more people. Romney, again Obama. Is this the United States? Or is this the Jew United States? What is it? Honest. Be honest. Like Jesus said, I don't know if he existed, but he's a good role model. Honestly. Is this the United States of America, or have you been taken over? You have been taken over. The Jews are in control of America. They are in control and they will kill you. I can guarantee it 100%. They will kill you if you don't wake up and be honest. Obama is the 44th president. And again, no coincidence. They plan everything and they control everything and they love 11. Like World War I, they set it up to get Palestine from England. And the first peace treaty was signed at 11 o'clock at the 11th day of the 11 months. 9/11 was on the 11th. Kennedy was killed on 22 of 11th. And recently in Kenya, there was a setup shooting, maybe you know, a 33-year-old woman who was called LF, close to what the Navy shooter wrote on his rifle, my elf. They're crazy about all these things. They're crazy about the occult. You are probably not, I'm not, what does it matter? It doesn't matter what I think, you think. They are in control and they use the occult. The Bible, where there's a God or not, I don't know, doesn't have nothing. Beware of the evil plans in higher places. And these are all higher places and they have evil plans. The Bible warns. A little history about the Fed. Lincoln died. He was killed because he didn't want a central bank. It had nothing to do with slavery. It was also in this movie, these pictures of Lincoln. And yes, we were slaves. Black people were slaves. Yes, maybe we invented slavery. I don't know. But we also stopped it, and we were also slaves ourselves. But nothing to feel guilty about. It's bullshit. And here we have this Rothschild guy, and he had a central bank in Britain, but they also wanted to control the United States. In 1791 already, Rothschilds got a banking license for 20 years, and the first Fed was founded. The first bank of the United States, it was called. They like these word games. In 1811, this license was not renewed, and immediately Nathan Rothschild used his power to have England declare war with the United States. And in 1816, America gives in, and Rothschild get again their license. This time they called the bank the Second Bank of the United States. In 1832, the responsible Andrew Jackson runs for president with the slogan "Jackson and no bank." As in 2012, when traitor Ron Paul is correctly traitor, I'll explain later, pretend to want to intervene. A lot of people now also understand that the Fed is extremely powerful and dangerous. Jackson and no bank. Great guy, of course. The difference between now and then is that politics is invested by Zionist Jews, not the Jews in general, it's not antisemetic, and who bribe anybody through AIPAC. And too little people understand that America is taken over by Zionist Jews behind the scenes. Too little people in power are upright like Jackson, Lincoln and Kennedy. Even Ron Paul is not upright, even he's a traitor. And we skip to the Civil War. During the war, Lincoln was made an offer by the Rothschilds. Allow us again a central bank and we'll use our influence to stop the war. Or deny us a central bank and we'll send the French army to finish you off. Upright Lincoln, one of the best presidents ever, said no. He contacted the Tsar of Russia, Tsar Alexander II, and asked him to send a fleet to block the only harbor for the big French ships that carried the troops, big enough to let the troops out. The Tsar obliged, and this decided the war. And this was this guy, this Alexander II. And Rothschild then vowed to kill Lincoln and the Tsar. Thus unfortunately happened. Lincoln was killed by John Wilkes Booth. This was brainwashed into your mind, but not many know that the Jewish George Atzerodt planned the whole thing. Behind him, of course, Rothschild. And John Wilkes Booth was just a patsy doing the actual work, and he was killed. He was killed by Boston Corbett, one of the soldiers that chased him down. He shot him on sight. And later reports stated that this was done without any sign of resistance or any reason whatsoever. So he was executed by Boston Corbett. This is probably still in the National Archives. Maybe some politician can look it up. Understand the similarities with the murder of Kennedy. It's always the same thing. They work with blueprints. The Tsar was killed by a group of left-wing radicals, as now the Zionist Jews always used left-wing idiots to attack the nobility elite that could lead the country the right way. Communism, socialism, all Jewish inventions. Tsar Alexander II was a great man, known as the liberator of Russia. He ended feudalism where the farms were owned by the rich. He showed at the time men had served in the army from 25 to 50 years. He gave many parts of the country more right to rule themselves. He founded universities. He ended big parts of government censorships. So Rothschild vowed to kill him, and he did it with a terrorist organization, a left-wing terrorist organization, with the Jew Vervicker. This was the brother of Lenin. He was a court Jewish. His grandfather was Shmuel Moshevich Blank. Both he and Lenin had strong Jewish sympathies. So it's always the same thing. They work with blueprints. Although many people want to make things very complicated, it's just good versus evil, freedom versus slavery, people with feelings versus psychopaths, the Bible versus protocols of science, Kabbalah, Talmud, Book of Ruth. Einstein, I'm not against Jews. Einstein said if you understand something, you can explain it very simply. And it is very simple. That's the only way it works, because it's simple. Well, let's stay in Russia a little bit. And in 1904, 1905, they organized this war against Japan. And Russia was supposed to lose it. And Russia loses this war. And after that, the Jewish Hasidic rabbis, they plan their first revolution. And this is what, you probably recognize it. This is what the soldiers got as a medal for this 1904-1905 war against Japan. It's the pyramid with the all-seeing eye and all this radiation coming off. And this proves without any doubt again and again and again and again the Jewish fingerprints. And Jew Benjamin H. Friedman, he explained that the false Jews in Russia, they were the Khazarians and they call themselves the Ashkenazis. So it's not strange that in Russia, so far from Israel, we have all these Jews and the Pyramid of Gizeh and the all-seeing eye. It's no coincidence. And they set up a revolution and it failed. And here we have this medal, and here we have the dollar, and what's in the dollar? Again, symbolic, the Pyramid of Gizeh, the all-seeing eye, and all this radiation. It's exactly the same, only with more detail because it's on paper. This is on metal. It's exactly the same. And you saw this picture of Volker, Greenspan, Bernanke, the protocols of Zion. You saw all these presidents with all these Jews. It's again and again. It's proof, proof, proof. It cannot be any coincidence. And even now in GTA 5, this fantastic new game, you have this again, the all-seeing eye with the pyramid. Because who are behind this game? And the brown streak, the browning of America, brown streak. Because who are behind this game? Jewish producers. It's financed by the Jews and Jewish investors. And that's why these things are all in there. And Michael, he saves the world by killing in the end this Satan that's symbolized as Zuckerberg. That's the main storyline. It's very important. They tell us how we can save ourselves, like in the Matrix, tell the truth. And this way they want to unburden their karma. They believe in all these things. And here we have the Jew. Yes, he was a Jew. You can look it up. The Jacobean Jew, Churchill, with the V sign. And in Grand Theft Auto now, we have also this V sign. Because this is an occult sign. It's not about victory. It means they want to take us to the 5th age, the age of Satan. And now we're in the 4th age, the age of Jesus. If you don't believe in all, I don't know what to believe, but if you don't believe in all these things, the logical explanation is that psychopaths love making things more exciting. So if you don't believe in all these things of 5th age and so, don't disregard this. Because they're psychopaths, they want to make things more exciting. There are too many coincidences to disregard it anyway. And the revolution of the Hasidic rabbis in 1905 failed, so they tried it again in 1917 with the protocols of Zion. That's how they took over the country, like they're doing in America now. Karl Marx was a Jew, real name Moses Levi Mordecai. Trotsky was a Jew, left Davidovich Bronstein. Lenin was quarter Jewish. He saw his brother before, who killed the Tsar Alexander II, and their grandfather was Shmuel Moshevich Blank. Over 75% of high functionaries in the first Bolshevist, the first name for communism, government were Jewish, 457 of 556. It's all Jews, Jews, Jews. And these were the Jews in the top of the revolution then. And here we have a Russian general who went through the archives. Look at the list of names of Gulag supervisors, then you see that they were all Jews. And this is what happened. This is the Gulag. The death camps, Gulags are death camps. There they killed. They killed about 40, 50 million people. And something, maybe 100 million. 100 million Russians shot through the head and starved. Because if you don't give people food, they die, of course. You can kill a lot of people if you stop the food transports to parts of the country or to camps. You can kill 100,000, a million people at once. And they killed especially the young boys because, as you could read before, the white male is the most important enemy of the Jews. And that's why these boys were killed, these poor innocent boys, because they could not turn into men anymore. And that's why they were all killed. And this is what they want for America. These poor Russians, they did not deserve this. But it happened. And that's why I have my doubts about this 4th age of Jesus and the 5th age of Satan. I mean, if this could happen in the 4th age of Jesus, I don't know. It's so bad. I cannot, it's incredible. It's really, really terrible. And if you think this could only happen in Russia, it's very special. No, it was just a country, just like any other rich country. This could have been London, Paris, New York. This was Nevsky in St. Petersburg. And this was Moscow. They were very, very, very rich, just like now. And also the middle class and lower classes, they had a super life in Russia with all this nature and food everywhere. It was a super great country, but they did not know the Jews wanted to take over, the false and evil Jews, to kill them. And Russia did not stand alone. In China, Armenia, Ukraine, North Korea did the same. Mao said the world is ruled by symbols, and now you know these symbols. That was in the medal, this Gizeh pyramid, all seeing eye, that's in the dollar, the fifth H sign. Mao said before he killed an estimated 20 million people, all political power comes from a battle of guns. The Communist Party must command all the guns. Now you know why Obama wants to take your guns. This is, Mao is Obama. Obama, Mao, it's about the same. They love these games. He's he, Obama, or Obama, it's Mao with all the Jews, and only 5 Jews. Franco, Israel Epstein, Elsie Fairfax, Shomni, Solomon Adler, and Sidney Rittenberg, they were enough to control all China, because you have at the top, you have Mao, like this pyramid they love so much. You have at the top Mao, you have some ministers, you have some high people in the government, and it goes lower and lower to more and more people. And then you can control the country if you only control the top. If you control 100 American politicians, you have more power than if you control 10 million people without power, and they understand it. And in the meantime, in America, the evil Jews want to force the Jewish central bank for the third time, the Fed, in the 1900s. In 1910, the richest men of that time come together on Jekyll Island to talk about the founding of the third Rothschild central bank, the Fed. One is J.P. Morgan, and representing Rothschild, Paul Warburg. But some super powerful, upright Jews, this is not anti-Semitic, don't want the Fed. And this is really a super guy, Benjamin Guggenheim. He had a manufacturing company, a real company that supported the economy in America. And he was super rich. He had this French girl as a mistress, but he still took really good care of his wife. He's a really great guy. And we had this Isidor Strauss, who was not such a flamboyant guy, but he also did not want the Fed. And one of us, John Jacob Astor, and he also did not want the Fed. And all these people together on the Titanic, and they were killed. I mean, it's impossible. It's too much of a coincidence. What does the Rothschild family do? You guessed it, come up with a plan to get rid of the 3 men without raising suspicions. And how do these psychological geniuses do that? With something big. Because they know that when you do something big, most people won't question it, like 9/11. That's why they killed Kennedy in such a terrible way. That's why they set up World War I, II, and the coming 3, and 9/11, etc., etc. You have J.P. Morgan take over White Lines and build the Titanic with Jewish shipbuilder Harland and Wolff, the Titanic. In 1912, the Titanic has made a trip from England to the US, and a very experienced Captain Edward John Smith steers it into a group of icebergs. It's an iceberg. It's a common practice with 0% of danger in a calm sea with moonlight. Big icebergs can be seen. If they can't be seen, they're too small to pose a danger. The Titanic sinks under very suspicious circumstances. There were not enough lifeboats. Distress signals that are shot in the air are white instead of red. False radio messages sent that the Titanic is okay, there are enough boats to save the passengers. The very experienced captain, with a long career where never much happened, he steered the boat into the iceberg field, but it was a calm sea. There's no uncommon practice, so this raises the question, was an iceberg really hit? I don't think so. Small iceberg that would be bumped off. Enormous, only an exceptionally large iceberg could sink the Titanic, but such an iceberg would always be visible on a calm sea with moonlight. The biggest eye-opener to anybody would be the witnesses that were on the boat. If you summarize all the witness accounts, it comes down to this. There was some sort of distant rumble, like thunder, no shock, no bump, no slowdown of the ship, nothing, and while after that it started tilting and sinking. Of course the ship was sunk with explosions. Because it's impossible that these 3 men that did not want a Fed all were on this Titanic and all died. What are the odds that 3 of these influential people that did not want a Fed all died together on the Titanic? The odds are non-existent, of course. 0% chance. It's impossible. It's impossible. Right after the Titanic sinks in Jewish circuits, it's well known the Jews did it. They immediately make one of the humorless, old-fashioned jokes about it. Did you know the Jews sank the Titanic? I thought it was an iceberg. Well, iceberg, Goldberg, what's the difference? Just like with 9/11, do something big. And you live in the Jewish matrix, you cannot begin to imagine how big this is. Benjamin Guggenheim is supposed to travel in a Lusitania, but it was being repaired at the time. Later, the Lusitania was sunk under suspicious circumstances involving the Jew Churchill, who was an admiral of England at the time, and it was used to get America into World War I, after which the evil false Jews get Palestine from England. So it's all connected. And that's why on the movie poster of Cloud Atlas, made by Zionist Jews, the same that made the Matrix, on this movie poster says everything is connected. There's also a hint for the next big 9/11, but you can look that up. With the resistance gone, they had their Fed law officially adopted by the House at the 22nd December 1913. As some of you know, they love most to do things on the 11th, 9/11, but the multiple of 11 is second best. And this captain, he was member of the Jesuit order. In 1534, the then King of Spain told the Jews in his country, turn to Catholicism or get out. Some Jews left other Britain to oblige and founded the Jesuit order. So the Jesuit order is a Jewish order, just like the Freemasons, Skull and Bones, Bilderberg, and risk seekers, psychopaths, etc., thrill seekers, they join these groups. And of course, practically all of these traits are of the white race, because they can go anywhere in the white race society. So sick when you understand that the ultimate goal is to kill the white race, the Pax Judaica. And they are honest between each other. They say, we Jews, we the destroyers, will remain destroyers forever. Put it on pause, read it. Best among the Gentiles, non-Jews, deserve to be killed. And again and again and again and again. They control everything. The Jews, they control everything. All our presidents, Romney, Obama, Bush, what does it matter? Controlled, Clinton, controlled. Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Obama. Is this the United States? What a joke. It's finished. There is no United States now at the moment. You are under attack by the false and evil Jews. Not by the good Jews, but by the false and evil Jews. And you should be able to recognize this, because if you do not stop them, you will be killed in a camp, just like the Russians. In your last days, you will every minute think again and again, why didn't I see it? Why was I so stubbornly screaming all these stupid ideas like anti-Semitism and feminism? And Obama is good and we should hand in our guns. Why was I attacking my fellow white man, my brother, my ally, the one that could save me? Why was I so stupid? The one that could save me. We can only save each other. We cannot do it alone. We have to stick together. Alexander II was killed because he aided Lincoln. Lincoln was killed because he did not want a central bank. And Kennedy was killed because he was introducing silver dollar certificates. It would be the end of the beginning of the end of the Fed. And there was a book written about this murder of Lincoln and Kennedy. And this book was called The Magic Numbers of Dr. Matrix. And it was about the similarities between the murders. And just like the movie The Matrix, in the movie The Matrix was 9/11/2001 on the ID of Neo. And the movie is also chock full of 9/11, terrorists, the truth, Jesus, etc. So the magic numbers of Dr. Matrix and The Matrix, they are made by people in the know, people who know everything. They understand everything. And the similarities, Lincoln did not want a Rothschild central bank. Kennedy wanted to end the central bank with first step silver dollars. Both were killed on a Friday, the start of the Jewish Sabbath in the evening. No regular Jews have nothing to do with it, not anti-Semitic. Lincoln was killed in Ford's Theater. Kennedy was killed driving a Lincoln built by Ford. Lincoln was killed in a theater. Kennedy's killer fled to a theater. And Lincoln and Kennedy both said 7 letters, but this is a coincidence, of course. Andrew Johnson, Lyndon Johnson, both 13 letters, could be a coincidence, and maybe they set this up. John Wilkes Booth and Lee Harvey Oswald both have 15 letters. They picked out somebody with 15 letters and made him a patsy. Both men were killed before they could testify. 11/22, date of murder of Kennedy, 6. Friday, 6 letters, Oswald shot from the 6th floor. When FBI shifted forward 6 digits, you get LHO, Lee Harvey Oswald, 666. Very special, also 11. They make their plans according to these things because it's an ode to Satan. And this way, they honor Satan, and they also think that Satan helps their plans. Do some research on how many coincidences there are with 11 on the 9/11. You will be amazed. Evil Jews, fingerprints everywhere, blueprints everywhere, Rothschild, Zionist influence everywhere. When will you learn and accept that you live in a Jewish matrix? It's important because it's the first step to prevent your death. And they see the dollar as only pulp fiction that serves to get the debt as high as possible to create chaos. Then it's kill Bill, kill the dollar bill, shortly before the climax of chaos revolution. It's what they did in Russia and in Germany. Also, they tried a revolution and it failed. You can look it up, it's all true. And here we have the paper mark in Germany. They had a paper currency also to use in Germany, and this is against gold. First you could, with this paper mark, with 10 paper marks, buy 1 ounce of gold, and later you need 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, billion. And that's what they want to do to America. Because the dollar is not backed by gold, so it can go anywhere, because it's only paper or in a computer now. The Fed has only one purpose: help the Hasidic rabbis get the world and rule the world from a great Israel with capital of Jerusalem. That's what they want. And Benjamin Friedman, the honest Jew, he explained this. World War I, II, III, all set up. They want to permanently retain Palestine as the foothold for the world government. That is just as true as I'm standing here. It's not an anti-Semite. It's not a Nazi all made up who's saying it. It's a Jew, an honest Jew. This Guggenheim was a great Jew. This Benjamin Friedman was a great Jew. Aaron Swartz, great super Jews. Jews are not bad. They are part of the Jews, the false Jews, that are evil and dangerous and bad and want to take over and kill you. Everything is connected. That's on the movie poster of Cloud Atlas, as I said. And what the Jews tell themselves, I told you before, they are honest. And put it on pause, read it. Please, read what the Jews tell themselves. We Jews, the destroyers. We have posed the saviors, we are the destroyers. World, we need the world, we want the world. I'm not an American citizen, I'm a Jew. Put it on pause, read it. Anti-Semitism, what a Jew says about it, that it serves to protect us against our extermination. Read it, please. Bolshevik revolution was done by the Jews. We want a world of our own. White people are the cancer of humanity. Put it on pause, please. Read it, it's very important. But it gets worse in the Talmud. It says, permitted to take body and life of a non-Jew. Allowed to kill anyone who denies Torah. Christians belong to the name of Torah. Every Jew who spills the blood of the godless, make a sacrifice to God. Read it, put it on pause, read it. It's allowed to kill us. They feel superior. And George Bush didn't know this. And he helped them. That's why they made fun of him in Game of Thrones and in My Pet Code 2. That's on YouTube, where they explain all the plans, a little bit hidden. Because in the Kabbalah it says, if you share your evil plans with others, even when they don't understand it, your karma is lifted. I told you before, the Kabbalah is very important to them. And the truth is all that matters. Like Goethe said it, this famous German, Jesus said it, even the evil Jews said it. Because they think logically. 10, we always tell the truth, we have heaven on earth. 1, we always lie, hell on earth, everyone will be killed. And where are you lying? That's the question you can ask anybody today. Where are you lying? I'm always lying, I'm always lying here. But no, just lie a little bit, but you don't know. It's a gliding scale. You don't really know where your lying is. Maybe you're lying as this, as an effect, you don't know it. They like the occult. Maybe you don't believe in it. I don't believe it. George Bush believed in it. This was a fake occult ritual on the morning of 9/11. These children were reciting hit, playing kite, hit, steal, playing must. And George Bush was thinking he aided the plans. That's why they made fun of him. I don't believe it, you don't believe it, what does it matter? Read this, put it on pause, read it. In the dollar bill, here you have the real thing, and this was in the dollar bill. It's incredibly accurate to what really happened. If you look at it seriously, it's unbelievable how close it is. 9/11, they did it too. The evil Jews did 9/11. You're still one of those who believes the official Bin Laden story? I hope not. Then why was this truck driving around, this truck bomb, with the Twin Towers on it and a plane flying into it? And this was in official police reports. There were continuing moments of alarm. A built truck with a painting of a plane flying into the World Trade Center was stopped near the temporary command post. This is real. There were Israeli Jews arrested with truck bombs. They were freed by dual citizenship Israeli Jew Chertoff and put on a plane to Israel. Where's the trial? Put it on pause, read it. It's true, it happened. And there were Israeli Jews who installed film equipment before the first plane flew into the Twin Towers. They filmed the Twin Towers before the first plane hit. And they cheered when the first plane flew into the Twin Towers. They were freed by dual citizenship Israeli Jew Chertoff, quickly put on a plane to Israel. Where's the trial? Is this real? This is real. Look it up. It's all real. And one of these guys, he gave an interview on Israeli TV. He spoke very carefully, but he misspoke. He said, we were only there to film the event. Wake up from your dream world before it turns into a nightmare. And here we have Chertoff. He was a spokesperson for the government on 9/11. He said, we must forbid that anyone can say the government had anything to do with 9/11, just like we should forbid that anyone speculates that the Holocaust is not real. And just like before, everything is connected. And here you have this Danish professor in chemistry. Here we found nanoferromate in the rubble. So he found this in the WTC. Whoa, do you think it caused the collapse? Yes, of course. It's an explosive. Why else would it be there? It's normally not in buildings. Molten metal pours out of the South Tower several minutes before the collapse. We're talking about tons, 10 tons, possibly 100 tons of nanothermite. So now, no doubt the material is present. Very serious professor. You cannot fudge this kind of science. Denmark television will never be on American television as long as your country is occupied by the Zionist Jews. And they work with the Kabbalah, Book of Rules, Protocols of Zion, the Talmud. And they want to make things from the Torah Bible come true. And they think the Kabbalah is a book with which you can control earth and at the end put the rightful ruler of the world, Satan, in place. And that's why they make these movies and TV series. American Dad sounds like American Dad. And if we tell it to it, yeah, hey, did you see American Dad? We make it come true. That's what they think. I don't believe it, you don't believe it. What does it matter? World War C, World War III, Pulp Fiction, this is what they think of the dollar. Unburden their karma by telling us the truth. Kill Bill, kill the dollar bill. Unburden their karma by telling us the truth. Their plan for the dollar. White House down. This will enable them put energy in their plans for White House down to destroy America. And in the Book of Ruth it says, of the priest that devised the pharaohs in old Egypt, it says, if you expose the goy, that's the cattle, to the symbolic pyramid of Gizeh, or the all-seeing eye, you also give your plants more energy. You take energy away from the people that's watch all this. I don't believe it, you don't believe it, what does it matter? In The Simpsons, again, the truth is smashed into your face. This was Homer Simpson against New York. And here we have 9/11, the Twin Towers, and here the dollar bill, like, hey, look, you stupid cattle, can't you see it? It's in the dollar bill, the destruction of 9/11. And it's Homer Simpson against New York. 9/11, dollar bill. I mean, really. And the producer of this Matt Goering, he's a Freemason, a Zionist Jew. They like to play all these games. I don't, you don't, what does it matter? And this is the Alfred P. Murray building. You can look up what happened there. It's all been researched. And this is in the dollar, and this is the real building. It's incredibly close. If you look at all the details, it's unbelievable. But this still has to happen. The overflow of this is, of course, New York, overflown by water. And in the Bible it says that the daughter of Babylon, or so, the whore of Babylon, will be destroyed by the millstone that falls, something like this. Maybe they will make a fake meteorite fall into the sea before New York, I don't know, and then it will overflow. Probably. And because 9/11 and the Pentagon was in the Alfred Murray building was also in the dollar bill. So this is not far-fetched that this will still happen. And in the Hoover Dam breaking is in the dollar bill. And you have the Pyramid of Gizeh, the all-seeing eye in the dollar bill. You cannot deny this. And here we have the symbol of Golem, the Moloch. They're one of their devils they worship. And here Moloch is in some park in Washington. They think it all gives them power. Why do they do all these things to America? Because you have machine guns. Unlike the Europeans, they can just take over the Europeans, no problem, like China. They cannot put you in camp so easily and shoot you through the head without a fight, because you have machine guns. Every American, every white race American should own a machine gun now. Every man and every boy. Look what they did to the boys in Russia. If you're an American boy, if you're 12 years old, 14, 16, get a machine gun from your dad. Buy machine guns. And all these liberals and left-wing rats, they will say, oh, that's crazy. You should not have a machine gun. You should have a machine gun. Buy machine guns, as many as you can. Please, it's the only thing that can save you. And this is how they work. It's not all about occultism and strange things. They have a goal: rule the world. The method, the protocols of Zion, some modern additions. This is the organization, the Fed, own the media, Freemasons, UN, bribe politicians, etc. The script is the Illuminati card game. There's everything explained. The Bible, scripture, images in dollar bill. This is where all the plans are. And the A's always go for the top of the pyramid. So it's not far-fetched. You've seen all the evidence, and this is their plan. This is how they work. They're geniuses. They work very abstract, very clear. Only people in power can save us, of course. And the joke of the next Fed president. What does it matter? Zionist evil Jew 1 or Zionist evil Jew 2, what does it matter? It's going to be her, but what does it matter? It doesn't matter. The rabbis, they control them behind the scenes. So it doesn't matter. Look what Alex Jones, the traitor, said. He's very intelligent. He's also a psychological genius. And he says all these things. Put it on pause, read it. Just like in Russia, you have to be killed. That's the truth. I never said it would be easy, just that it would be the truth. Put it on pause, please, if you did not. And look what Alex Jones says about America. You have to be killed. Your army has to be directed against you. You have to be killed by the drones, by the army. They're meant for you. Press conference of the Fed, Congress hearing. You will have this toad. Let's call the next Fed president a toad. The toad is thinking, you little stupid shit pieces of shit, we're gonna kill you all, you shit, you nothing, you goy, remember the goy, you retards, how I hate you. And she smiles. And the stupid goy salamanders that she can eat, they go like chitter, uncorrelated nonsense. Is the economy recovering, madam? Madam, please, are you going to raise rates? Are you going to buy bonds? Are you going to support the banks? And the toad is thinking clear. She's smiling. She thinks like we're going to create enormous amounts of pulp fiction, build up enormous amounts of debt, and kill the dollar bill until almost all of your wealth is taken, and everybody's desperate, and you're ripe for revolution, and then we're going to take over and kill you all. So don't ask these stupid questions like a child, but ask real questions. Why is the Pyramid of Gizeh with the all-seeing eye on the dollar? Why is Moloch in the form of an owl hidden in the dollar? Why is 9/11, the attack at the Pentagon over New York, etc. in the dollar? Why is all these things in the dollar? Did the Fed create the Great Depression by stopping lending to banks all of a sudden? Did the Jews create a revolution in France, Germany and Russia? Are you going to do it again? How is it possible that the protocols of Zion state get the debt as high as possible until even the interest is impossible to pay? This is exactly what the Fed is doing. Is this too much of a coincidence? These things are relevant, not the bullshit. This is real. This is not real. How strange it may sound, this is real. The response will be, of course, laughter. And then, this is a serious press conference. You can't go asking ridiculous questions. And immediately they go to the next person. If the journalist or member of Congress would persist, they would change tactics and look very serious and get angry. This is the standard tactic of any psychopath, con artist, criminal. Anybody that is wise and knows people knows this. First, you laugh away the truth. You smile. The goy, they like smiles. It makes them feel at ease. If this doesn't work, you get angry. And the goy don't like conflict, and they will back down. This is what all the con artists and psychopaths do, all the criminals. This is what they will do. So the only way you can put them in a corner is moving a group of at least 5 journalists or politicians. Stick together, create groups. Ask about all the stuff in the dollar and say, I know it sounds crazy, but this is typical psychopath behavior. Make evil actions more exciting with leaving small traces. So it's not as ridiculous as it sounds. That's when you put them in a corner, and that's when you can get to the truth. And can these well-organized geniuses be stopped? When they wrote the Protocols of Zion, these 300 rabbis, they warned that one man could stop them. So they thought they could be stopped. It was not a sure thing. It looks like that now. In their modern plans, they also have an addition at the end. Good try, too bad something went wrong. So they also think maybe they will succeed, maybe not. What can you do? Contact the media, contact politicians. Only people in power can save us. And for the traitors, you cannot as a white person be a traitor for the evil Jews, because when they win they will kill you, because they think all non-Jews are inferior scum that has to be killed. Ron Paul, the best among the Gentiles non-Jews deserve to be killed. Talmud Rabbi Simeon ben Yoai. So Ron Paul, they have a very shrewd tactic that's called control both sides. You control the evil side, the fat. You also control the opposition. So the opposition isn't really pushing through. That is the trick. And Ron Paul is a Satanist. Is that crazy? There are good people that worship God, Jesus. So why would psychopaths not worship Satan? It's not strange. It's logic. And these two, they work together. And that's why he's on his show so much. They're both Satanists. Have you ever made these signs so in public, so clearly, not coincidentally? It's impossible. You have to think about it. Just like this handshake and the V sign. Here's Ron Paul celebrating that the plans for the 5th age of Satan are going so well. Is he in for a surprise when they succeed? The best among the Gentiles deserve to be killed. Talmud Rabbi Simeon ben Yoai. And here's his son, like father, like son. They go with the intelligent rabbis, and they control him. And they control more. Because remember, Protocols of Zion replace spiritualism, the Bible, with materialism, and bribe politicians. It's in the Protocols of Zion. They are really important. If you only worship the golden calf, you will dig your own grave. Don't only think about money, please. And we can have one of these 2 things. We need a small group of members of Congress, at least 5, 3 or more, to stand up in the mainstream media and tell the truth. Then in minutes everything can change. Or you will have an Obama saying, "Dear Americans, America is under attack again of terrorists. The Hoover Dam is blown up," or the Sentinel power plant. "I have no choice but to call a national state of emergency and install martial law." That's what they want. There's strong indication terrorists had help from anti-government groups. All over the country already white race men have been arrested and put in FEMA camps. There's suspicions that a substantial part of the white race, maybe the majority, supports the terrorists in act and spirit. Rest assured they will be all arrested and put in camps. If there's a God, I don't know, but the Bible says, be brave, and the truth will set you free. So take this in account. And then we need people in power. A small group of members of Congress, at least about 5, probably more. Then in minutes everything